Dance is my first love. Lending my body to movement while connecting with music. The athleticism of pushing my strength and agility. Storytelling and preserving history and culture through dance are some of my greatest joys. My journey as a dancer unexpectedly set the stage for my work as a photographer. I'm an Oakland native who once lived in New York City and worked professionally as an entertainer. This was the mid-'80s and the early '90s, and I was a dancer, an actor, a model. I had an agent. Isn't this hairstyle just so '80s? I worked in television and music videos and traveled the world in theater productions. These following images are my first exploration in making pictures. I found myself back home in the early '90s, and I began to make these street portraits of my neighbors. And after traveling the world and experiencing different people and different cultures, I was so excited to reconnect with something so familiar. I started making the pictures using my experience of being photographed as an entertainer to make my own images of my neighbors. And it's a funny story how I even got started. I had a 35mm camera that someone gave me, and back home in Oakland, I was broke. And I was looking on the back of a grocery store receipt for coupons. And I saw a coupon for 50% off processing at Presto Prints. And being that 1-hour photo processing was kind of a new thing, I went out in my neighborhood and I made these portraits. And I came back and I was like, hey, y'all wanna buy some pictures? And they loved my images. And they called me the neighborhood picture lady. Thank you. Next are my hip-hop images. This is Chimo Du. Chimo Du is the photo editor of The Source magazine, The Source hip-hop magazine. So during this time where I was kind of back and forth between Oakland and New York, I was in New York. And I took a snapshot book of my neighbors with me. I went on a modeling audition for The Source magazine, and while I was there, I talked my way into the office of the photo editor. And I said, hey, if I'm in Oakland and I get pictures of the Bay Area's hip hop scene, would you publish them? And he said, well, share with me what you create, and we'll see what we can do. Now, all of these live shows, record release parties, photo ops with artists, I'm also an entertainer, so I had my finger on the pulse of what's happening. And these are all images and places I was gonna be at anyway. So I loved carrying my camera with me and capturing and documenting the Bay Area's hip-hop music scene. It was a combination of East Coast artists that came to the Bay Area and also the local scene. I love doing photo ops of artists together. And a natural progression was for me to make publicity images for my artist friends. I would do headshots, publicity shots, one-pagers, write bios, and even did a few album covers. There were some really special moments, and a few of my memorable moments was being on the set of Woo-Ha Got You All in Check, a music video with Busta Rhymes featuring ODB. And they had this costume, it was a straitjacket for 2 people. And in between takes, they were having this serious conversation. And this is one of my favorite shots. Another favorite is photographing these 2 dancers, Fly, the one in the air, and Maddox. Fly says to me, hey, I got this move, it looks like I'm stuck to the wall. And I was able to capture the moment in one take. Lastly is a moment of what it's like in a hip-hop show before cell phones. This is Method Man in 1994 on stage in San Francisco. And that's a bit of my story. Oakland Picture Lady, Tales of a 90s Girl. Thank you.